$137,882.30.
Thank you. Going into old business. Make a motion. Second. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Old business, the water committee selection update. As of now, we have just 3 people. I've tried to get a load of people to do it. Nobody wanted to do it. I discussed this with Jake. Jake, can you fill us in further on this?
We should just wait until we get more people interested.
And how many, we got 3 people, and what was the issue with the 3 people?
Nothing.
Nothing. Everything's going good here. We don't, what are we gonna make? We want clean water for the next 50 years? We got it. We've accomplished everything we have. So I didn't see no need for a water committee, well, Jake I consider my boss because he's the superintendent of the Department of Public Works. He knows more than I do on this. So he doesn't need one.
Respectfully, we voted on it to create one.
Respectfully, the manager doesn't want it. We only have 3 people. There's no interest. What's the sense of creating something where you don't need it?
3 is not 0, and Will, can you clarify what happens when we vote on something?
Well, if it's been voted on to create, people should be appointed to it, whether they wind up going forward with any specific tasks right away, you can hold off. If there are people interested to be on a committee, when you're going to look for some more of these 3, they can be appointed and then they can be tasked with things as Jake may need.
Okay, we'll do that. But again, I stress I listen to my managers, but if I'm overruled, I have to follow the rules. So those 3 people who applied, get it.
And who will notify them?
The village clerk. Make a motion to appoint those 3, and I don't even know their names now.
Do we have their names? Remember Mike, Karina Tippin, and who's the other one? That was Mike Gibson. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so make a motion to appoint those 3?
And I'm sorry, just another point of discussion. We didn't receive them from other people that would.
Excuse me, board, we can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Did we receive more, but they were not living within the village, or we only received 3 total? It was my understanding that there were a few other people that did put in for support.
That is correct. I believe, and we should keep everything within this village. Yeah, 1 was outside the village. This is the village of Montgomery. Everything needs to be kept within the village of Montgomery.
The exception I would like to see is if that person's an expert in things, but I think that would be a value added to it if that were the case. So do you know who it was and what the credentials?
Sure, it was Ricky
You
Tompkins.
already work. You already work.
It's a 3-person committee, so 1 person has to go. And that's what was voted on, a 3-person committee.
Just come repeat one of the names. Montgomery, Karina Tippin, and there.
What was the first one?
Yeah.
Karina Tippin.
Karina, it was Mike Hipson, I believe it was.
I have it on my desk.
Okay.
Wasn't the CAC supposed to have a seat on the board too? That was my understanding.
I didn't hear you. I didn't hear one.
Wasn't the CAC supposed to have a seat on the board as well? That was my understanding, and I think I talked to you, Mike, and I talked to Randy, and I talked to maybe somebody else, and we all agreed that the CAC, it was discussed.
The motion was a 3-person board.
Okay, well, that's not what I remember. So,
For the time being, you have these 3, you can always add if necessary.
These 3. Now, I'll stress that they do not run Jake. They can give him assistance.
It's advisory. Correct.
Yeah.
So is there a motion?
Make a motion to accept those 3.
I make the motion to accept the 3.
Second? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Jake, you have 3 people now on an advisory board.
Okay.
Next, the employee handbook. Update on that?
The next-
You want me to give the update?
Well,
Where we left off?
sure.
So where we left off in our last meeting, we had indicated that we wanted to try to keep the handbook focused, and any policies that have not been approved yet will be separate from the handbook, that was one. And then two, there were some changes that I had requested that have to go in because it's part of the HR things that we process in the treasurer's office. There was a few that Ms. Will said we can do a conditional approval on those items that I had provided, everybody has a copy of this for a while. And then also in terms of the processes, there's a lot of processes that are not in place today. And what we would do is put them in place over a span of different months, because you can't do it all in one day. That's where we left off.
There are a couple of things that, from that email, which, most of it's okay, a few things I will advise the board separately in an email or in a memo that we need to tweak a little bit from your suggestions, but we'll do that. So the next step would be to put those things in, approve it with those things right now, and as I've mentioned previously to the board, and I also said recently in communication, the next step is to put it before both of our collective bargaining units for their review. So you can make that motion if you wish tonight to move the process forward, subject to incorporating a couple of notes from the village clerk in the version that is to be based on her email from this morning, and the final version, and then we can refer that over to the two unit presidents for their review.
Well, I only got it about 3 hours ago. It popped up, like the stuff that you sent out. That was about
What I sent out was the same stuff I sent out months ago.
Okay,
And I had highlighted there was some that still needed to be incorporated.
all right.
So you
My,
could approve with a condition if you're comfortable with it.
my question here is an employee handbook. I mean, we're not a unique village. This has to have cost us thousands of dollars to put this together. I mean, for the last 2 years, we've been working on an employee handbook. I don't know what makes us different. Why do we have a problem with an employee handbook? It seems like you could go to any other town, they have it. It's,
We're updating the one that was already in place.
when you negotiate a contract, you don't take the whole contract and go over it. You negotiate certain things, salaries, benefits, the rest of it all remain in place. What are we doing here that's dragging this out for 2 years? And thousands of dollars of taxpayer money?
It was, we can talk about this in attorney-client, because we're not,
It's just,
I'll be happy to discuss it in attorney.
okay.
But in the meantime, if the board wishes to move the process forward, you can do that this evening.
All right, make a motion to accept the employee handbook as it is right now with additions in the future.
Based on the email from the clerk,
But-
and removal of a couple of items, and the next step again would be to approve it, finalize it the next week or so, and then deliver to the two unit presidents and the bargaining units.
I'll second it for discussion.
So this should be accepted in conditional form, correct?
Yeah.
This is-
That wasn't stated, that's why I wanted.
But with, the mayor did say with the revisions that are forthcoming, but that's fine.
Got it.
It's a living and breathing document. We can make amendments at any time to it.
Correct.
I understand that, but I don't know if we should do anything until it's completely finished. Till the whole thing is finished, till we have the unions agree on this, because we're gonna keep revisiting this. This is 20 years. I've been a union president, I've been on boards, I've been on hiring boards. This is crazy. It's a lot of money we're spending on an employee handbook.
The next step in the progression, once this board is okay with it, then it has to go to the units.
I don't think other agencies go through stuff like this, but.
Should anybody make the motion?
The mayor made the motion.
Make the motion, and who
I
seconded it?
seconded it for discussion.
All in favor? I don't understand the job description. Everybody knows what they're hired for. They come through civil service.
Generally, yeah.
Yeah, so,
But certainly the evaluation form, we have that,
right.
that'll be ready to go for October for sure.
Then we have managers who tell them what to do from there. Now, Jake wouldn't tell one of his guys to drive a police car, and Joe wouldn't tell one of his guys to drive a dump truck. But the basic knowledge, and it's all comes from civil service. So, I
I'm
think
okay
that's a
with the
little
amendment.
redundant. Okay. All right, so the employee handbook, we're back on that.
Let's go to
Mike,
All right,
can I ask a
vote on it.
question? Where do I fall in this situation? Because obviously I was union. Then when I went to superintendent, I'm out of the union. So now I fall under this,
Your department.
I fall under this handbook.
Correct.
Now, this handbook, if I'm not mistaken, maxes out, vacation maxes out at what? 4 weeks or 5? 5. Okay. Because going in the union, I would get 6 weeks, being I'm gonna be completing 30 years.
So,
So, okay.
One of the things that we had talked about, and I don't know if something we talked in executive session, there was some grandfather that has to be considered
Yep.
for vacation, comp, things like that for department heads, because they have big implications.
For specific things, we can tweak that.
Like you said, living, breathing document.
Yeah.
Continually add, change, subtract, what's gonna work, what's not, but at least voting tonight, we'll have the outline of everything, and then have a starting point to follow.
And there's also nothing precluding the village from doing contracts with departments. That's permissible if that's what the board wants, if the mayor and the board wants to do that. So I'm making a memo with respect to vacation time to specific employees, not getting into specific people right now, but that's a prerogative of the board. So you can do that.
Thank you for your.
so part of the reason, I wanted to address why the reason we're doing this is because right now we're not compliant with some of the Nikon and the controller's rulings. So getting these in the book was what the goal was, correct?
One of them.
What rulings are we not complying with?
Part of things that were missing from the end.
What, like what?
Well, she's gone over them several times.
Give me,
For the last couple of years, we've had quite a few, and we've been through the discussion, so.
I'm asking you, this dimension sort of public, you know, give me one thing that we're not complying with. This is an employee handbook that was being updated.
Do you need me to pull out the letter from Nikon that shows us what we're not compliant with? 'Cause I
Yeah.
have it. I do, I have it on my phone.
Tell me what it says.
Sure.
I'm just confused by the line of questioning, I guess.
The line of questioning is for 2 years, we've been working on a employee handbook.
And now we have a motion on the floor.
I understand. Why did it take 2 years? There's hundreds and hundreds of municipalities in this state. Why are we spending all this money on an employee handbook? Most of it was already there. What are we doing? That's dragging it out this long.
You know, I don't wanna argue, you don't need to.
Well, that's not a
Yeah,
question.
and I'm
I'm
not
not
gonna waste
arguing.
Colin's time doing
I'm
this.
not arguing.
Let's
I'm not
go.
arguing. I'm asking questions. That's okay to ask questions, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. I vote against it. At this point, I'm against it. I want a full handbook in front of me where we vote. I don't want to just piecemeal this thing because it's really not a hard job here to get an employee handbook. Not a hard job. It's just a moneymaker for whoever's doing it. And I'm not accusing you, Will. I'm just saying an employee handbook should be that basic.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Take a roll call vote, please.
Okay, me, I'm against.
Can we go in the same order every time, please, for the rest of the?
That's just, what does it make a difference?
Yeah, we have to be consistent.
Trustee Embriani,
Yes.
trustee Picarella,
Bye.
Mayor Henry, no. Deputy Mayor,
Yes, with, as long as we can add to it, correct it, yes.
all right.
Trustee.
Trustee Noble?
Aye.
Okay,
Okay, so carried.
oh, carried. All right, next update on policy. What is that? It's on here, update on policy.
So
It's
there's
on the
three,
agenda.
there were three policies that were brought up in the past few months. One was it was four, but one was already taken care of, which was the policy about how the meetings are gonna take care of, that was done. The second one was the social media, the third one was the investment policy,
And the whistleblower.
and the whistleblower policy. So all those are just kind of like turnkey policies that you pick up, you lift from other municipalities in NICOM, and then you implement them. I think the one that people have a concern with, I particularly highlighted that, and everyone knows how I felt. If I'm gonna be responsible for social media, I can only manage what we manage here. So the one thing that I said, we have to take out residents out of that policy, because I cannot manage hundreds and thousands of websites or social media policies. But what we do is we have already implemented, and this has been going on for quite a while. If someone tries to tag the village of Montgomery, we do not accept those tags, just so you know. What that means is, if I have a business and you tag my business, for me to prove it and you can view it on my feed, that means I have to accept your tag. Right now, we are not accepting, re-implemented that months ago, but we're gonna continue with that policy, and that keeps the village's integrity of the Facebook site.
And you're not approving anyone's tax.
No one's tags have been approved, at all, ever.
So it shows up on ours if we tag it, but it doesn't show up on the village
That's right.
page. Got it.
That's right.
Thank you. So, and you're saying that those policies should be separate from the those policies should be separate from the handbook, but also we need to move those forward as well.
That's
the
correct.
intent. Okay.
Otherwise, we'll never get the handbook posted. So any new policies that come up, we'll have a policy binder, and we'll start keeping track of the new policies, and we'll keep it there, so it's a lift and shift, and implement. That'll make everything easier for people.
I would like to review them and put it on the next agenda with the intent to take a vote on accepting those policies and just have one final look at it. I don't know that, I can't speak for anybody else, but those three
Nothing's
policies.
changed,
So,
and they came
these
from the trustees even before I saw them, so.
So what I'll do is I can make the tweak to the social media policy, and I'll send them around, and you can either vote to adopt them or not at the next meeting. Okay.
So we're not voting, correct?
I think the board has to look at it.
Thank you for the update there.
Moving on to grants.
I did share, can you hear me? Or do I need the microphone?
There's been a lot of discussion about grants and how we will apply for them, how we, talking about matching grants, non-matching grants, fees for grants. I did share with the entire board, it just came in this afternoon, so I just shared it this afternoon. I did ask Millennium to send over a blurb about how they support with grant writing and what they intend to do going forward. I included the board and the clerk in that, so we can all read over that and be a little bit more clear on how we utilize them. And then I also was able to get approval to be included in their monthly email to go over any of the grants that we are able to apply for. It doesn't mean they're all gonna we're gonna have projects for all of them that work, but it's an easier way to just have one person be the catch-all instead of I'm looking for them on this website, he's getting them from AppConverge, I'm telling him about something I saw. It's just been all over the place. And then we also discussed that it will be on old business at the first meeting of the month, every month, so that there's no more crosstalk. We're either gonna send in a letter of intent and move forward gathering what we need and identifying projects, or we're not gonna talk about it again. That way there's not back and forth. I can post the blurb online. I don't think it needs to be read unless anybody wants to hear it from Millennium. I'll read it, okay. Founded in 2005, Millennium Strategies is one of the largest full-service grant consulting companies in the region, representing more than 200 municipalities, counties, school districts, and nonprofit entities across New York State, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Missouri. Over the last 2 decades, they have helped clients secure more than $2 billion in governmental and non-governmental funding, addressing a variety of critical challenges and community priorities. Their service model is comprehensive and aggressive, based on proactive grant research, grant writing, and grant administration. Our goal is to help the village identify, pursue, and secure funding for a wide range of projects involving arts and culture, community development, disaster recovery, economic development, environmental protection, health services, historic preservation, human services, public safety, parks and open spaces, recreation, senior services, sustainability, tourism, transportation, and water and sewer infrastructure. By maintaining funding expertise across these sectors, we try to ensure that you can maximize opportunities for funding that align with specific needs. We currently serve as a grant consultant for the town of Montgomery and the villages, available to provide complete grant research and writing support services. In addition, our team provides strategic planning support by meeting with administrators, department heads, and other stakeholders to identify priority projects and funding goals. This collaborative support results in a working framework that helps guide grant research and applications throughout the duration of each contract period. Millennium's full-time research team monitors new governmental and non-governmental grant opportunities and weekly research memos and are prepared to summarize each opportunity, highlighting deadlines, eligibility requirements, funding parameters, program overviews, past awardees with direct links to agency guidance. These memos are shared with the village on a rolling basis, ensuring awareness of the most current and relevant funding streams. Our team also advises on technical requirements such as matching obligations and post-award compliance. When a grant opportunity is deemed viable by the village, Millennium will manage the application project from start to finish. This includes analyzing the program guidelines, coordinating with key stakeholders and technical professionals, collecting necessary data, preparing narratives and supporting documentation, and finalizing complete application packages for submission. To ensure quality control, our team seeks to provide a draft application at least 72 hours before the deadline, providing time for the village to review and make final adjustments. Through the structured and proactive approach, our team offers the expertise and capacity to secure external funding for a variety of needs. Our existing relationship with the village includes all grant research and writing. There is no additional cost to be incurred for grant writing when your team decides to pursue a grant. So some have a match. We are not paying per application, with the exception of some outside the scope of what's coming in through this applicant verge. I do have the whole list. I did speak briefly with the chief today. I did not get to speak with Jake. Because we were unclear about the process, we did miss out on a lot of grants this year. They do tend to come out in April, is what I was told. There's a big chunk of them that are then due by the end of the summer. So I'm going to start looking at what should go where. There's parks, there's seniors, there's all of these things, and we'll do that next year.
With what you're reading here, we hire a company to do this. Why are we looking at it? If we hire a company to search for grants for us, which we're paying for, because I was on the board when we did this, why are we doing it?
Because we have to identify what we need a grant for, and then they help us get approved for
It
it.
seems like we're doing the work. I hire you to clean my pool, I shouldn't be doing it. This is a grant
You
writer.
have to call the people to ask them to.
That's
come
not the
clean
way it was
your pool,
explained when we
though.
hired them.
Clean it.
I'm not arguing with you. What I'm saying is,
I'm just projecting.
they're a team. They're doing this, they're doing that, we're doing the work.
We haven't done
We're
anything, we haven't applied for one grant.
They're supposed to look for us. When it was explained, I even said, you know what? We're kind of an affluent community. We may not be getting all the grants because we shared it with other communities. And it was like, no, it'll all be done together. Nobody will be favored. Well, now we're looking for grants.
Right, so
That
these
don't
are-
work.
this
We
is
can do
what
it
I
on
was
our own
saying.
without hiring them.
Yes, this is what I was gonna say, it's pages and pages of everything for this calendar year that we could have applied for. This has all gone out to us, all we have to do is say, hey, this department wants to ask for this, hey, we've identified a project. We have to give them the go-ahead, they can't just apply on our behalf without our go-ahead, which is why every month now, instead of doing any kind of back and forth, I'll say, here's ones that, we should be looking at, this is what's available.
That wasn't the
and
selling point when they
decide.
came here. It was pretty much sit back and they'll do it all for us. That's what I remember them saying. So, all right, thank you.
So one other thing, Randy, if you do not have a grant, then we're not putting it on the agenda, correct?
I would just put it on the agenda every month and I'll say I have nothing. And we'll go right over it. Because even if there's not a new one, maybe there's an update on information I need, or, hey, this is amazing and fabulous, hopefully.
I mean, it seems like the grants we've gotten from Ron Feller and Darlene and Dosick applying for grants there, and they're not charging us anything. And again, I'm not arguing with you on this. I'm just, if you hire the guy to do it, why are we doing anything? We should just sit back and say, hey, ladies, I mean,
They
it's
write
obvious.
the grants.
Huh?
They write the grants. We tell them what we want to get.
That's not the way it was explained. That was not the way it was explained. They were available, they're looking, they'll say, and if we just tell them what we want, we shouldn't have to do anything after that. We need a grant for sidewalks. It should be all done. Hey, this is available. We shouldn't miss deadlines. If we hire them, we should not miss deadlines.
We've missed 3 deadlines.
They missed 3
You
deadlines.
didn't answer my email, and that's the truth.
No, if we hire somebody, they should make sure we don't miss the
You're a
deadlines.
municipality managing public funds. Respectfully, we have
I
to tell
understand.
them what we want to do. They can't just do it for us.
Excuse me. We have to give them the go-ahead. When they present grants, they have been miscommunicated to the board, but when they their job is to identify the grants. Then it comes to the board says, yeah, we want to do that one because there's no matching funds required.
Oh, Bill, I understand what you're saying, but
But-
it's just, it wasn't the sales pitch when they
Okay,
came here.
that may be a
It was
different
not
thing.
the sales pitch, and it seems like a lot of work is being put on the employees. And they came in, they sold their product, and then they're gone.
Well, we can discuss that with Millennium
Okay.
to get the process down. But in general terms, it's the board that decides whether they're going to submit an application.
That I understand.
Okay, so
That
so
I
we just may need to have a clarification discussion with Millennium, that's all.
Yeah. Okay. Next one, discuss the recent CBDG bid update.
I think I didn't print the right.
Is the moratorium then?
Moratorium next.
Oh, okay.
What do you got? Oh, I'm sorry, we start with that. Discuss the moratorium, Jake.
Oh, Hopewell 6 is doing phenomenal. It's, even with it being as dry as it is, it's holding its level. So I'm pretty comfortable to say that I feel we can lift it.
Okay, how are the other ones all performing? Same?
Yep. Yeah, everything else is.
Jake, do you have any reporting to give the board as to how they're all working?
I
Are you
mean,
reporting before we
I
lift
did
this?
basically, I can show you our monthly reports.
That's
That's great.
That's
I
about
think it
it.
would be beneficial just for us to understand. You know, I, for one, do not know what I'm looking at or how we're measuring, but
Yeah.
if you showed it to me once, I would understand and be able to contextualize that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would
We can do that.
appreciate that. So we have to decide to lift it.
Well, it's either gonna, the board can either let it expire, or it can affirmatively pass a local law rescinding it.
Again, referring to the manager. Jake, what do you want to do?
We can lift it if that's what the board agrees, or if you want to wait for it to expire, it's not gonna hurt nothing. When does it expire? December, right?
Is that it? Wait, right?
I don't know the date
Just
offhand.
renewed not
Maybe,
too long ago, so.
Yeah, I think it's around December.
What do you want to do? Are you comfortable with the way it's
I'm
run?
comfortable with lifting it.
Okay.
So we have to set a public hearing date for that, right?
Yeah, you can do that at the, what's the date of the next meeting?
September 6th.
Yeah, why don't you, okay, we get the notice published today, the 19th, to the 2nd. The publications are slow.
They've been very slow lately.
Right, so you
They're
either
asking
want
for
to do
2
it,
weeks.
you either want to do the local law at the, it's a very straightforward. You can either do the public hearing at the September, 2nd September meeting or the 1st October meeting, whichever you feel like.
Why don't we do it the October meeting then?
October 7th.
Is that the next one?
So then you want to make a motion, to schedule a public hearing to to consider rescinding the present local law for the moratorium on October 7th at 7:30.
7:30 or 7:15?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's
All
not
right,
really.
all right, I just knew we.
Whatever you want, you wanna do
No,
7:15,
no.
that's cool,
All
whatever.
right, make a motion to schedule the public hearing for lifting the moratorium for October 7th meeting at 7:30.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed?
Are we roll calling every vote? Yes. Yeah. I'll not go to the motion.
I'll do it now. It doesn't-
It's fine, as long as Debbie got everybody.
Everyone say
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Authorize the police department to hire 2 part-time SRO officers. Reading?
On the last one.
The F, there under old business, the
Yep.
CDBG.
Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped over that. All right, discuss the recent CBDG bid update. Discussing.
I had sent, the village board received correspondence from Mike and Tully today. They put out bids for the upgrade to the HVAC systems in this building. There was one bid, came back from TN Brennan Service, Hamburg, New Jersey. Their bid was $50,000. The only bid that the board received. We have a grant of 47 and change, so it's pretty close. The only difference is 2875. I got the letter here. Yeah, 2875 is the differential. I had sent over the resolution that Lincoln Tully is recommending accepting the bid under the 2024 CDBG. That's the 50,000 that we have. So,
I thought we had to spend that money by last October, that was the rush to put the doors in and everything like that.
That was 2024, this is 2025.
This says 2024.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, but they confirmed today with Mike and Tony it's October 1st, 2025. They have to spend the money. Oh, we and Mike and Tony.
31st, right, Debbie?
31st, sorry.
so I'm sorry, Jake, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No.
Scott did reach out to me late this afternoon, and the PM Brennan is asking for a 30-day extension because they're not sure if they can get the unit quick enough, which it sounded like the county was okay with it, but I didn't get to talk to John Martin.
Just for the curiosity, did you ask him if he would accept the amount that we have left in the grant?
What's that?
Did you ask him if he would accept the amount we have left in the grant?
That I didn't talk to the company.
It's worth a shot.
This came in so late in the day, I have a lot more questions about this. Is this something we can table to the next meeting?
Yeah, I saw the email, I've not had time to review it.
Unfortunately, the only thing is it has to be by, in order for us to get the money, it has to be done by October 31st.
The job has to be done?
Yes.
And so he would have to order the unit now, and he's still working on it.
And he's afraid he's not gonna be able to get the unit in time. That's why he's asking for a 30-day extension.
And when will we know if he has a 30-day extension, and does that put us on the hook for?
I would have to talk to, I'd have to talk to John Lundy. I'm not sure how that works.
Can you do a condition?
Can you hear me or
Number
not?
4.
Yeah, this is just 1-4.
Will, can we do a conditional while they could say, here's the questions we have, and then we'll approve, Jake can in parallel talk to John Amani from CBDG?
You're either approving, awarding his bid or not. So I don't think this is something that I would recommend doing conditional. Either going to approve this,
Even if we don't get the 30-day extension and they don't come in on time, we lose the grant, so we would have to come out of pocket. So
If they don't come in, if we
conditional of
don't-
them getting the extension.
well, the question becomes whether an extension grant, if you don't grant the extension, they don't come in on time, you don't pay. So we're in a bit of a catch-22.
We can't modify the motion or the resolution to include the language
need to get the process going, unfortunately, of awarding the contract.
That's what I meant by contingent of the 30-day extension.
Because they're not gonna see if they can get the unit until they know if they got the contract or not. The way I understood.
We don't do this and we don't have it, right?
Yeah, if we don't do it, if we don't do it, then more likely we're gonna lose out on that 47,000.
Well,
All right, so where we go from here?
what are they
I'll
gonna,
make a motion.
what are they gonna,
I second.
well, let me just ask the question, what are they gonna find out?
I would assume if we agree to do it,
So we just have to get approval from the town.
yes.
Yeah, that's community development.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Scott
right,
said
so,
it sounded, I guess Scott talked to John and Ronnie and made it sound like it wasn't gonna be an issue.
so,
That's just, like I said, I personally did not know it.
understood. So Scott did, all right. Well, there's no second on the motion.
I second. Steve made, I second.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to amend this resolution slightly, but,
So what you're saying is that the bid, the guy that's doing the bid, he's not finding out if he can get the equipment in time to do it? Like, he's not doing that investigation, we're not getting an estimate? Or that, like, what, it doesn't make sense to me.
I
like,
can't
he's not-
answer that.
That's what you're
I
saying.
mean, if it was me, yes, I would have looked into it. I would look into it, knowing that it's possible I am gonna get this bid. So where I know where I'm at, I can't speak for him.
Yeah, It just seems cart
It's-
before the horse.
at this time,
And,
we don't
You know,
know.
if I get the bid, then I'll look and see what the
Yeah.
equipment is. It seems backwards to me, so I'm just asking
Yeah,
for clarification.
and I could be I could be wrong. Maybe they already looked into it. That I don't know.
And he just said to you he was worried he wouldn't be able to get it in time, right?
That's what I understand. Like I said, I
He
didn't
did
talk to
not need the
him.
extension. He's just looking to build in a security net for himself.
Exactly,
He can't get
yes.
it. He didn't say he wasn't gonna get it. He said he was worried he might not get it. That's how I read the wording.
That's kind of how I understood it myself.
So if we put it out, if we approved it, and then he didn't get the equipment, are we lost in anything?
well, that's the question, it's the exact question. If he's looking for an extension to November 30th then,
Yeah,
so we're gonna have to put something in the contract that says if the job's not done by November 30th, then the contract is void. He's gonna have to agree, then I'm okay.
And
We good with that?
when did this come back on the radar? Because I know we talked about it, and then it was off the radar for a long time, and now I'm just hearing about it today. So I have questions, shocker, I know, about what the unit is and who decided what the unit was. I need a refresher.
450, I got it wrong. I was calling my dad.
Yeah, it's not your fault.
So, I'm just as much in the dark as you are, Randy.
And so when we put it out to bid, can you remind me who decided what unit we needed and that it was adequate to solve the problem?
That's, it's not gonna solve the problem. There's 4 units in this building. This bid is only to replace 1. Because when we originally started this bid process, I'm new to this, so I'm learning. From what I understand is an engineer has to come in and overlook everything, which made no sense to me, being everything was already here. That engineer, we paid $3,400, he came in and said it's gonna be $100,000 to do the job. Before we even started anything, I had contractors come in, I got a price of $52,000 to replace all 4 units and put a split unit in the office.
And
When-
now we're talking
when it
about
went out to
one
bid,
bid for $47,000.
The bid yes, we were only getting $47,000.
And that's for 1 unit out of 4. And how many need to be replaced? All 4?
4. all four are 20 years old.
In
So
your
here's
opinion,
something
should we
we-
look further?
I mean, yes, they're working now. You know, every year we have to charge them as they leak, so we have to charge them every year.
I know, I play that game.
Jake, in your opinion, Jake, is this a good bid or should we look further?
Unfortunately, Steve, we don't have a choice. We can't look forward. Otherwise, if we don't accept this, we lose the 47,000.
I think
But is there another all-encompassing grant that we can have put in prior to next summer, is the question.
Well, why don't we just move with this one? At least we got one for him. And you know, it's funny how you mentioned that everything, 52,000 is, it's like the government paying $500 for the hammer.
Well, we could set aside capital improvement fund, could we not, to fund the rest of them, or is it still gonna come to the same price as we talked about, it still would be the same issue? I just talked that out while I said it out loud, sorry. Yep. The same issue, right?
Well, no, not if we do it ourselves. When thinking that it's a grant, everything's prevailing wage and all that stuff. If we just have a company
So,
come in and do
if you
it.
guys could do the other three yourselves, but don't waste the grant money, use it to get one of them, then you're only replacing three, not four. Right, it'll still save us
Correct.
money in the long run.
Correct, yes.
Then, push through this one.
Only if we're not responsible.
Well, we're gonna put that, amend the resolution, correct?
Well, the contract can have to provide that the job has to be done, assuming they get the extension, it has to be done by November 30th. That's the, as you said, that's the way, the only way I would recommend you do it.
If he doesn't wanna sign, if the contractor doesn't wanna sign the contract, that's on him.
Okay.
Yeah, it's essentially a.
So how should we amend the motion,
Resolution.
resolution?
I have it there.
So,
So-
just for reference, since we're discussing it, we just missed out on the BRICS grant, which is for recreational infrastructure for communities, kids, and seniors. So, we could have applied for that, but we just missed out on that for this year, but we need to keep it in mind for things like that going forward.
Okay. So, you got a resolution of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Montgomery authorizing the Superintendent of Public Works to accept a bid for HVAC system improvements at the Village Senior Center, skipping all the whereas stuff. Now therefore, it is hereby resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes and directs the mayor or the Superintendent of Public Works to accept the following bid. TM Brennan Service, Inc., Hamburg, New Jersey, $50,000. It is further resolved that the village mayor or superintendent of public works is hereby authorized to execute all documentation necessary to effectuate the intent of this resolution, subject to approval of the form and content of such documentation by the village attorney. And let's add, and it is further resolved that a provision shall be added to the final contract that if the work is not completed by November 30, 2025, subject to extensions being granted by community development, that the contract shall be null and void. So that's,
Yeah.
The only thing is, Jake, for something you know this better than I, put it in the call letter, you gotta come back and charge it this spring?
I don't know. I wouldn't think so. I would think they could charge it regardless of how old it is and stuff like that.
All right, what our attorney said. Steve, you made a motion on this?
Yes. You
I'll
second.
second it. All in favor?
Roll call vote.
Roll call, did we do the roll call vote yet? Did we come to that yet?
We have to
No,
do it.
refresh.
All right. Trustee Imbriani,
Yes.
trustee Pipparello,
Aye.
Mayor Hamburg, aye. Deputy Mayor, trustee Nolan,
Aye.
okay, carried. Now moving on to new business.
Before we move on to new business, we need to, old business is also the feasibility study. Unless that's something we
the agenda.
I know, but it's old business and it's pertinent and it's important, so,
It's not on the agenda.
so you're going to refuse to talk about it?
It's not on the agenda.
I heard you when you said it the first time.
Okay, well, then, what do you want to know?
Where are we on that? Because we did a clarifying resolution, and it's my understanding that the DPW superintendent is still under the orders not to let Delaware Engineering in the treatment plant.
It's not your understanding, it's my telling you, you can't do it. I'll go right back to the beginning here, how this all started. Two trustee elects.
Perhaps we should talk about this in attorney-client or executive, Mr. Mayor.
No, I'd rather not, since it came this far, I think it needs to be told. Two trustee elects and a present trustee were invited to the town supervisor to discuss consolidation of our sewer plant without my knowledge, without me even getting to talk to them yet. Then they came back and they already had their idea. The last meeting, I got a call 20 minutes before the meeting from an attorney. Our attorney was handling this. Oh, by the way, Mike, this is going through. And then at the meeting, trustee Nolan handed me this and said, this has got to be voted on. Is that what the village residents want? Tell me this doesn't look like something shady here, that the mayor, the deputy mayor are not aware of this. If this is such a great thing, why would the public be aware of this? $7,500 out of taxpayer money to do a study with the town to use the village, to merge with the village sewer, to make the village property go down in value while the town property goes up in value because they can say they have sewer access. That whole 17K corridor will turn into Paramus, New Jersey, Route 17. Why would we do that? Why would we do that? We're going from warehouses now to outhouses. The smell from that sewer plant will travel across the Walk Hill River into Benedict Farm, all up Corbett Road, all over the place. Why would I sit here and approve that? And nobody's going to force me to do it. I'll fall on the sword for this. This is not what I was elected for, to pull games like this. Somebody said, gee, that's political suicide. Wow, I really am thinking about who's going to vote for me if I decide to do this in the future. I'm doing the right thing. You know what you guys did? You definitely united the village here because nobody wants this. So there's my answer.
I do.
Well, that's for you.
Mike, can I have my question? I just want to, can you hear me?
Great. To your two comments that refer to me, at the last meeting, and it's in the minutes, that I stated, you spoke to Joe McKay 2 days prior to receiving that paperwork from me. It wasn't 2 hours.
No, I did not.
He begged you to not make him do the resolution, and please let Delaware Engineering come in and do a study. That's it. I spoke to, excuse me, sir. I let you speak. Can I speak? Excuse me, I am not. This is, excuse me, do not call me a liar.
I'm telling you, it's wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
20 minutes before the meeting.
I let you speak, sir. It is my
Go
turn.
ahead and speak. Tell the people why you think this should happen. The floor is yours.
So when I spoke to Joe McKay, he did advise that he spoke to you 48 hours prior to us receiving the email. At that meeting, we all saw the resolution. We knew it because that was the steps that we needed to move forward with this. You are putting this man in a horrible predicament that he's going to go against what the board voted on. Okay, it is a study. It is nothing else. If the new sewer system is imaginary at this point, if it were to smell, excuse me, I'm doing business.
We'll talk to the public. You're the one who has to-
Excuse me, I have the microphone. It is my turn to speak. Please stop interrupting me. As I was saying, if it smells to anybody, someone's not doing their job correctly. You go to any other municipality and go, there's no smell. Okay, we are asking for a study, sir. That is it. I spoke to Delaware Engineering today, I spoke with the deputy mayor. It's simple, they just want to take a tour of the facility. They want to see what the plans are, that's it. And then they will give us a study, and we can make our decisions at that juncture. Everything that you are saying is incorrect. Thank you.
So you're saying that they come here to do a study. Don't you see what door this is opening? Don't you see that by you three, I'm talking to him, by you three going up there and meeting without me knowing it, it's shady. It's not good. If it was so good, you would come down here and you would present it to the whole village. Like I said, the average person goes to work, comes home, watches a little TV, reads to their children, and puts them to bed and expects the government that they elected to do the job. I don't really care. I'll stand here by myself. This is wrong on every level. This is wrong. I checked with other mayors, they would never touch this. You want to go ahead and improve the park here, all this beautiful land, and then put sewers. Again, we're going from warehouses to now outhouses.
So the continual misrepresentation of what this is by you is the biggest part of what's bothering me. We have constantly gone in and it's a study. We are evaluating the condition of the water treatment plant so we can make a plan to move forward. Sewer treatment plant, excuse me. So we can make a plan to move forward. We have constantly been reactively managing you. That's going to cost a lot of money. We have to start setting money aside now if this job is going to happen in 10 years. This is not something you just come up with $5 million. It's going to take time. The entire point of them coming in, which they said what they're coming in for is to take measurements, to take a tour of the plant, to see the condition it is in right now, and to give us a path forward. The path forward is not to just merge with them. That's one of 3 paths forward. One path forward is us going by ourselves. The other one is us going together. And the other one is a third combination that we might not have thought of yet. This is purely a study. The fact that you're holding it up could endanger the entire community. Because if this goes down the road and it's not ready to be replaced and we don't have the money for it, you want to talk about tax increases. Try coming up with $7 million tomorrow. Mayor Brescia looked at this, how many years ago? Was it 10? The cost from 10 years ago today has already quadrupled. Now, from now to 10 years from now, it could quadruple again. So the entire point of this is to give us the heads up on what we have in store for us, how long that could take, and how we can plan to move forward with some sort of organized plan. Instead of being, we got to get this garbage truck today, or we're going to lose it tomorrow. We got to get this air conditioner today, or we're going to lose the money. We're constantly reactively managing.
We have no problem with our sewer plant. We got,
You don't.
Jake, tell us about the report on the sewer plant.
What report? I'm sorry, did you just say there's a report?
Jake is talking.
Where is it?
We get your yearly inspections, and DEC came down.
Jake, stand here, please stand up.
We get yearly inspections from DEC on water, sewer, everything. I believe it was back in May, they came down.
Can you supply us with that information?
Yeah, that was
Why are we not being supplied with this information?
but they,
Why are we consistently as a board not being supplied with the
Jake
information?
finish what
I'm
he's saying.
asking you a question, sir. Why are we continuously not receiving adequate information that exists already so that we can make an educated decision?
I didn't hold any information back. Let Jake finish and tell you what he had. Go ahead.
by DEC standards, place is working excellent.
Now, I said this at a meeting 2 meetings ago. I said a report came back and we're doing fantastic down there. I said if the Channel Lane project was to take off, or Vistamore, Goodwill, whatever it's called, then we would have to increase down there. But right now, we're doing fine. The town has problems, and somewhere I heard that they have a date, a deadline that they have to meet. Why would I go ahead and let it happen here? Again, I'll fall on the sword on this thing. I don't really care. I'm gonna be living here a lot longer than I'm gonna be the mayor. And you tell me one person other than Mr. Berger back there who thinks that we should merge with the town sewer and have everything come down here and lower the values of the houses here.
That's not the
Why-
discussion we're having.
No, but that's not the discussion.
That's not the
Okay, well,
discussion.
you know what? I'm not gonna argue with you.
I would like to see that report, and I would like to request on the record that from now on, any reports that come in from any state or oversight agencies that come to your department, if you have to request that of the mayor, that's fine, but it needs to be distributed to the whole board. How can we be expected to make a supportive and educated decision to support what you need to move forward the best that we can without the information?
He didn't do anything on purpose. It happened.
I'm not
in May.
saying
I
he
thought it
did,
was
but
in
if I
June.
don't ask,
He did not do anything on
it's up
purpose,
for
and I did
discussion.
mention it at the last meeting.
Were they judging it on the current standards or the ones they were gonna have to implement moving forward? Because we know they're gonna go up, right? That's another thing the study's going to look into. Can our plant handle the new requirements that are coming soon, correct?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't.
Exactly.
I don't know the sewer that much.
What new requirements?
More water.
What new requirements?
There are new requirements coming from the DEC with
They're
every,
increasing
right, with every plant that is along the walk-in.
everywhere along the walkway, they're increasing the regulations.
And if
That's
you
what
let
we're trying
Delaware in to
address.
have those conversations,
Again, if it was such an important thing, you wouldn't meet behind closed doors without the rest of us
Okay,
knowing.
so we're talking about our
That's
feelings
not
and
true.
opinions, but
Stop
what
saying it.
I would like to ask,
Listen, you've got your opinion, I don't know how to
I would like to ask the attorney-
I'm not trying to butter a bacon, or to Jake not to let anybody in it. There is no contract with me. I've seen no contract, I've seen nothing. You three worked it behind, you three got the.
Well, can you please advise the board on what happens if there's a duly approved motion and resolution two now made by the board?
I will do so in attorney-client.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Authorize the PD to hire 2 part-time SRO officers, Greeny and McNeely, at the rate according to the PBA contract.
I'll second.
Okay. Trustee Andriani.
Yes.
Trustee Piccirillo. Mayor Hamburg, aye. Deputy Mayor Andolfi. Trustee Noble.
aye.
All right, carries. Authorize roll call for motion.
The information so we can make an I appreciate that.
Authorize roll call for motions.
Let me explain what that is so that everyone out here understands why we're doing that.
We just did that. It's the, each individual person is told, and they say yes, or no, or aye, or nay. And I believe this has to do with the fire department contract, the fire hydrant contract, which I brought up at the last time the,
No,
it does not.
it doesn't. It has to do
Okay.
with the fact that we can't hear when people give their vote, and I try and keep a record in case Debbie misses and we
Okay.
can't hear. So everybody's
talk
voting
about hearing, I'm
individually.
the worst one with the hearing.
That's the reason
Okay.
for it.
All right,
Make a motion.
make a motion,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Let's take a roll call.
Take a roll.
Okay, okay. Trustee Imbriani?
Aye.
Trustee Piccirillo?
Aye.
Mayor Hamburg? Aye. Deputy Mayor Andolfi?
Aye.
Trustee Noble?
Aye.
Carries. Authorize Ron Clum to continue to be the CPA at $185 an hour for 2025-26. Make a motion?
I'll second for discussion.
All right, go ahead.
Who motioned it?
I did.
Is there an agreement with him?
That's just good. That's just kind of, it's just a roll, which is an extension.
And it's just hourly, and we used him quite a bit more last year. I'm sorry, can everybody hear me? Do you have a microphone?
We used him a lot more last year than we have in years previous, correct?
Because I was correct. Now, we had added a little bit more money on my budget line when I was in the treasurer's office. We took some out of that to cover the
Fran back in,
That should help.
okay. So we're looking at,
Hopefully
we're not
steady.
looking at an increase, we're looking at what we always have.
Hopefully steady unless things continue to change.
Okay.
To deal with massive changes, you never know what's gonna happen.
And how long has Mr. Plum served as our CPA? How many years do we know?
Probably 10 plus. Yeah, longer. Before my time, but based on what I hear.
And it's just an hourly rate and there's no agreement of what services he provides? Is there an older one that I can see? Okay.
Discussion?
Motion.
Overall.
All right. Trustee Imbriani?
Aye.
Trustee Piccarella?
Aye.
Mayor? Aye. Deputy Mayor? Trustee Notman?
Aye.
Carried.
Darlene, I made it, I seconded it.
Accept the resignation of Brian Greer effective July 24, 2025. Brian had served this village for many years, retired, and then he came back. And Brian's a good guy, Bo's a good guy. So make a motion to accept his resignation.
I'll make it with deep regret.
All right,
I'll second.
All right. Trustee Imbriani?
Aye.
Trustee Piccarella? Deputy Mayor? Mayor? Aye. Deputy Mayor? Trustee Noble?
Aye.
Carried. Accept the resignation of Jessica Nelson, effective August 5th, 2025. Jessica has served this village very well. I'm sorry to see her go. Make a motion to accept her resignation.
I'll make that motion with regret.
Second. All right. Trustee Imbriani? Trustee Piccarella? Mayor Henry? Aye. Deputy Mayor?
Aye.
Trustee Noble?
Aye.
Carried. Discuss the possibility of hiring a clerk to the village justice who resides out of county.
Do F and G in this situation go together?
No. Set two different,
No,
hires.
no.
One's part-time and one's, for that time.
I have interviewed her. She lives outside of the county. She's well qualified. The judge interviewed her. The judge likes her. She hit the ground running.
How does our current policy read?
It's not a question of the policy, and I've spoken to Her Honor today about this. I've checked with Civil Service, and I'm waiting to hear back from them. There's nothing in the village code, unlike the positions of treasurer, deputy, and village clerk. They, under code, they must reside within the village. There's nothing in the code about court clerks, so I'm waiting to hear back from Civil Service on this issue. You can do, there's two questions. The residency question under the county job description, and there's also the matter of whether the position is competitive or not. I've sent an email to the HR director of the county, Mr. Chapman. I should be hearing back from him. If you want to do the hire tonight as conditional, or if I get hire or conditionally, Your Honor, what is the potential clerk's name?
Yohemi Vega.
Sorry?
Yohemi Vega.
She waiting for her background check and passed. She passed her background check.
And it's
No, actually,
full-time?
this is, this individual has not, because we haven't been able to,
Oh, okay.
we've been trying to figure this out. The woman that has been helping me out part-time, just so that we can, we're not open at this time because we don't still have the hours and everything else. We're just trying to get everything organized, but she's a clerk from the village of Warwick that was kind enough to go through, get her additional background check done so that she could help us at least to try to process as much as we can and keep at least our court dates going forward until we can get somebody in full time.
So we are talking about two different people.
Yes, two different people.
So you're
The
gonna have
full-time,
I'm sorry?
You're gonna be back up.
Yes. I'm hoping that there might be enough wiggle room on the budget that I can keep the part-timer for a little bit to work together to try to get caught back, but we had been backlogged because of COVID. I know it sounds crazy because it's been a while, but, with the paperwork and everything that was coming out of that. So we were just about getting caught up with that, and now we're kind of.
Life is life, and
I don't think it's gonna be quite as bad, but it will be, if I can work it within the budget to try to keep both of them at least for a short period of time, I think that would be very helpful with them, just trying to get everything moving forward, especially no matter what, even with the experience that both of them have, it still takes time to, every court is different, so, you know, they know the basics, all the programs and everything else that they need to, they have that experience, but getting everything else done and moving forward, it's obviously just takes some time.
Now Sarah, she was pretty good.
Yes, and she's been very helpful. Unfortunately, like I said, she is employed in Warwick, and I believe that her intent was, because I know I broached the subject of potentially her becoming full-time, but I think she's happy the way her situation is right now. She's more than happy to do whatever she can to try to help going forward, but that was my indication from her when we spoke.
I guess my only question would be, was there a resident that applied for the job that passed up?
So based on the applications, because I read them with her, no one had the qualifications that were needed from a traffic or
We had,
that were
yeah,
registered.
literally, we had 2 applicants that submitted resumes that had any court experience whatsoever. One is working for me part-time right now, the other one's one of my full-time.
Right, and under village law 4-400, without getting into specific qualifications of individuals, the mayor appoints a clerk to the court on the advice and subject to the board approval, on the advice and consent of the village justice. It's in the statute. So it's essentially, you can't hire someone unless the judge gives it the okay in any event. In this situation, let's stick with the full-time person first, Ms. Vega. We have to do these separate, do 2 separate motions here. With respect to Ms. Vega, the appointment, do we have the salary?
My understanding is we were trying to work out what the budget was so I could have some kind of an idea, but my understanding is that's more with the board's
Yeah,
position and
but
the offering, so.
Do we have the hourly?
So it depends on, I don't know,
I know.
until we go into a personal.
Well,
here,
no,
maybe we'll
it's-
find, but I don't wanna give hourly right now, I think we should talk about that. We'll find it and come back out if needed, only
Okay.
because we don't know the
Because we have to,
coverage.
fix the salary
Oh.
upon the hire. So we can do it after executive, if we need to talk about it in there for both of these. But, and just,
I think partly because we were trying to cut back on our budget lines, we are very restricted based on what we had previously, due to not so much the hourly rate, but the benefits that go along with it. So that's where we're trying to make sure to see
And
financially.
that obviously cannot be used to determine.
right, so that may need to be discussed in executive. And I will note that when the hiring is done for the full-timer judge, it will have to be subject to final approval of Orange County, as, you know, when the paperwork is submitted. And if they come back and say that, throw us a curveball and say that it's a competitive position for whatever reason, we're gonna have to abide by that.
I
don't
looked at
believe it
that.
is.
I don't, correct. I had looked into it somewhat previously when we were doing all this, because I didn't know the steps in order to get a new
Right.
clerk. And I was assured that it's not a civil servant, like, that we don't have any of those concerns.
That being the case, it won't be a problem, but we do have to, we gotta put in the MS 244, whatever the form is
Obviously,
anyway.
she has to go through, like any hire would also have, through the courts, we have to go
Right.
through NY, the court system and all the fingerprints, and I know there's a background check here.
The part-timer, there's no problem with any of this.
That's
Part-timer can just, you set the hourly rate, that's the next item on the agenda. I don't know, Deb, do we have the rate for the part-timer? That's currently,
No, they didn't know in the treasurer's office, she doesn't know.
here for a week and then she had a scheduled vacation from work, I think. So she
You gotta-
only,
The board's gotta fix this out.
When she was interviewed, and did anybody mention salary?
I think she was given a range.
It's $25 an hour, we're
Brought
all
somebody
talking about,
on
but that has to
and
be
hired them
approved.
without telling them what they're getting paid per
No,
hour?
no, it was $25 an hour, would have to be approved by the board. That's what she would come for, that's what she was interested in. Other than that, she wasn't interested in anything other than that. So $25 an hour is what she wanted. So it was told that we have to put it in front of the board, that's what she wanted. She didn't just come here and say she worked for minimum wage.
So what is she working for the week that she worked?
She has not been paid yet for the week that she worked.
Her time card will be coming in this week. That's why we bring it on this agenda, so we can talk. We should talk about this in executive.
Correct. I'll have to put these two in executive.
Nobody was promised anything.
All right, so F and G will be discussed in executive.
Authorize 10 SIM cards for LPRs at a cost of $2,400.
So the 2,400 is yearly.
How much,
So
Joe?
It's yearly. It's a
Yeah.
monthly charge of $20 a month per LPR, which we're gonna have 10 LPRs. It's through Verizon, so they're basically like little cell phones out there, so we have to have mobile data on them in order to be able to upload the data to the station to get the information. We are able to absorb that cost in our supply line, so it's not an extra cost to the village.
Did we not expect that to incur that cost when we were putting the grant request together, or is it not an allowable?
It was unexpected because it was through Verizon or through the supplier of the LPRs, not the, not Motorola itself.
So when we reapply for this in 5 years, can we account for that and see if that's an allowable expense per the grant?
Yeah.
But it's already in your budget? It's not?
Yeah, I
in
can
your-
absorb that cost in the budget now.
Thank you.
I make a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Trustee Imbriani. Trustee Picarella.
Aye.
Mayor Hamburg, aye. Deputy Mayor. Trustee Noble.
Aye.
Carried.
Thank you.
Authorize and repair garbage truck number 16.
No, stop signs.
Which one's that? Where's that?
Aye.
I didn't have that. Where's that? Oh, it's across.
Right here, a little public hearing.
It's crossed out here on mine. All right, schedule a public hearing placing a stop sign on Olson Court and Harris Court. I don't know why there wouldn't be one there already.
Never has,
I thought there was one.
Yeah. That's-
never has.
Yeah, of course. All right.
Has there been a lot of accidents there?
No, just resident complained that cars are not stopping.
That definitely should be. Okay, we'll set a public hearing on that. Make a motion to, do I make a motion to set a public hearing?
One day.
We said it at the same time.
The October,
Second?
Second.
Second.
Stop sign.
this is to amend the village code to add a stop intersection at Olson Court, Ayers Court.
Make a motion to do this.
I'll make that motion.
So that'll be October 7th at 7:31.
Second?
Second.
Trustee Brianna.
Aye.
Trustee Picarella.
Aye.
Mayor Hamburg, aye. Deputy Mayor. Trustee Noble.
Aye.
Carried. Authorized to repair garbage truck number 16 at a cost of $13,000. Motion for discussion.
Make a motion, somebody second.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
For discussion. Fill me in. Didn't we just spend $300,000 on the garbage truck?
What's that?
We just repaired one for major money and another $300,000 on the other.
Exactly. yeah.
Which one is this?
This is the one that the new one replaced, that we've been let along for quite some time.
So we were having, this is the third one?
Yes,
Are we needing 3 garbage trucks?
absolutely.
What happened to it? It's limping along.
You want
What are we
technical
repairing?
term?
Yeah.
Do you have the estimates for it?
Technical term, needs an air induction, needs a turbo. Yes. I don't have it with me, but I can print it.
Can we table this for the next meeting, get more information on it?
Well, they must have, right, have it towed out there. I won't go allow it to sit there.
Well, I would like to take care of it right now, so it doesn't just get kicked down the road. I'd like to take care of it now, so it doesn't get kicked down the road.
Yes.
So it's in your budget already?
Yes.
Make a motion to pass this?
A second motion and a second.
Cool.
What's that?
All right. Trustee Imbriani.
Aye.
Trustee Piccarello.
I vote to table it, pending more information.
Mayor Hamburger, I vote to do it. Deputy Mayor. Trustee Nolan.
I already requested it to be tabled.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's
3
3 ayes and 2
ayes,
It's
2
really,
tables. Carries.
it's a matter of either yes, no, or abstain at this point. The motion, there was no motion to table, it's approved, so is your vote yes, no, or abstain? Right, so it's, yeah, but just for record purposes, what, is it yes, no, or abstain?
I'll abstain because I don't have enough information to make an educated decision.
Fair enough. Trustee Nelson?
I'll abstain.
Okay. So you got that there?
There's not enough information.
The manager here gives me enough information, that's what I go by.
So-
All right, move on.
So, yeah.
It passes.
I still like to see the next one.
K is authorized purchase of appliances, game tables, and miscellaneous items for a total of $1,944.84. And that's camp supplies, and that's being paid for by the town. I'll make a motion. Okay?
Call for a
Need a
second.
second?
I'll second for discussion.
Okay.
I'll pass the mic over to trustee.
Is there an invoice or?
Yeah.
I have a question. There's nobody. Is there anybody here from the camp? Is there anyone here from the camp to explain what these are for? Are these replacements or new items? Okay. So do we have a list of inventory as to what is being replaced and what is new on this list? All of these are replacing existing items? Okay. Do we have an inventory list from the camp as to what they currently have and if this is being replaced? Where's the list and why are we not provided with this? We're facing an educated decision.
My favorite question is why are we ordering things at the end of the season? Camp is over, correct?
Camp is over, these are all gonna be new for next year. They're ordering them at the
So
end of
we're
the
gonna
season.
order them now
At
to
the
store them?
beginning, they didn't know how much money they were gonna have. They didn't know what was coming from the town, how it was coming from the town.
So this isn't previously budgeted items?
This is not, we are not paying for this, it's coming from the town money. We have to send a voucher for this to the town, they will give us, they will reimburse for this. That's all, it's just a formality to get it approved. That's all. It's town money, it's not. Deb, I can't hear what you're saying.
fridge, a fridge with a freezer, a step ladder, an extension cord, 18 outlets with surge protectors, air hockey game table, foosball table, 3 foosball tables, for a total of $1944.84. Yes. Are some of these things not village expenses, surge protectors and extension cords? This is all camp.
All camp, it goes to camp process.
And so this is camp equipment owned by the camp.
Yes.
And we're just passing through to order it, and the town is reimbursing the village for it.
The town doesn't give the village money anymore. They have to, just like we do, yeah.
So I'm confused though. Why are we approving it as the village if the town is reimbursing the camp directly for it?
That's the process that's,
Camp program.
it's a camp program, the process they implemented where historically they would give us the ones. They said no more, they're asking for a reimbursement process, we pay first, we take the invoices, show them we paid, and then they'll reimburse us.
Yes, but that check is coming to the village of Montgomery, correct?
That is the correct statement.
Okay, that was my confusion.
Will's familiar with that change, but they implemented that this year, with a reimbursement process.
Okay, we have a second, we need to take a vote. Roll call. Trustee Ambriani? Trustee Picarella?
Mayor Henry, because of personal,
You abstain.
personal abstains, personal reasons.
I'll vote aye. You're aye? Aye. Four ayes, one abstain. Thank you.
Thank you. The reason I abstained is my daughters work out at the camp. And next up, authorize a 30-day waiver for the PDF liquor license as of August 8, 2025. I spoke to this gentleman about a week ago, a little over a week ago in the office, and very nice man, and whatever happens here, I asked that we authorize the 30-day waiver for this.
Retroactive to August 8th. Right, Mayor?
Yeah. Yeah. Make a motion for discussion. Okay. All right, make a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Go ahead.
This is the email that you sent out, Debbie, to each individual.
Correct.
Cool. Darlene was out on PTO, so she did not know.
I think it's Debbie to send that out. Thank you, Debbie. All right. Trustee Imbriani? Trustee Picarella? Mayor Hamburg, aye. Trustee Noel?
Aye.
Passes. Authorize changing the meeting of Tuesday, September 16th, 25 to September 23rd, Tuesday, due to no quorum.
Who will they agree to do that, right?
Send either one of my partners or one of my associates. Not sure which one. Someone from my office will do it.
All right, make a motion.
Another meeting I can do.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Trustee Imbriani? Trustee Picarella? Mayor Hamburg, aye. Darlene, you abstain?
Aye.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry. Trustee Noel?
She's not on here, but we have to do it.
What?
We have to retroactively approve this. Yeah, sorry.
Thank you. I said it.
Aye.
Trustee Noel? Aye. All in favor, carry.
We have to retroactively approve the SIP and paint. We didn't get on here, but it's something we had to do, because we talked to each other. I talked to Will, and said we could do it retroactively.
Yeah, you and I talked about that too. Yeah, that's That's okay.
Make a
And
motion.
and I made a I made a mistake. I called it a village event. Sorry. There was no intent involved.
I
I'm
make a
sorry.
motion to retroactively approve their use of the senior center
Without fee.
without fee.
Yep, I second.
Roll call.
All right, trustee Brian?
Hold on, discussion. We're leaving just to waive the fee, or, so there's no longer any confusion about it being a village event or not village event?
It was not a village-sponsored event, is my understanding. Is that correct? Ms. Casey?
Everybody
It was not a
understands that now?
village-sponsored event, it was a request to waive the fee.
But it was advertised like it was a village event, and there was a lot of back and forth about whether it was or wasn't.
It
and we were
wasn't
told it
advertised
wasn't.
as a village
Did
event.
it say it was a village event in the advertisement?
I think it's murky.
That's
A
not.
lot of things are like.
No.
So,
I think everything's been clarified since then.
Can't hear.
so we're just talking about waiving the fee, just to be clear. We're talking about retroactively waiving the fee for the senior center for the sip and paint, and there's no longer any discussion about the confusion that arose. It just went away.
What confusion that arose?
About whether or not it was a village event. When did that get clarified? I guess I missed the clarification.
I was told I couldn't say it was a village event. I used the wrong language.
You already said it in CGPs. And when did you clarify to the board?
I don't have the exact date and time.
Because I don't have that information.
Okay, well, retroactive, it didn't happen. So what do you want me to say, Randy? What do you want me to say?
I
I used the
wanted my
wrong,
question
I
answered.
thought it was a village event because they were doing something to raise money in the village. I don't know the exact date and time.
Does anybody have that information? Was it clarified to other people and not myself?
Does it make a difference? It happened.
I spoke to Leo, that's the only-
It happened. Steve made the motion, it's approved.
Oh, it was in, Will's email to the board
So I missed
stating,
it.
yeah, that stating that Embryonic would be making the motion retroactive for it.
Yeah, we spoke
And that
during-
it was understanding of that, yes.
Okay.
We spoke, I
That's what I'm
emailed the
asking.
board somewhere between the 4th and the 8th of August about this.
Okay.
It should be in the.
And I emailed Tracy
I
Cassie
can tell
directly
you exactly when.
to, make sure that we had clarification
When it was clarified.
village events or not
It was,
village events.
it was a Thursday, I believe it was August 7th.
Yep.
There'll be an email from me on that day, because I remember exactly where I was out of town. And we had a series of phone calls on this, which I believe I described in my email.
Yes,
I spoke
I
to
do
Ms.
recall that.
Casey, I spoke to Mayor, I spoke to trustee and Brianna that day. And I emailed everybody about this.
I remember your email. I don't remember the clarification, but that's fine.
Okey-doke. Call the roll? Unless, I'm sorry, was there any more discussion?
Trustee Imbriani.
Oh, we're on department heads.
No.
We gotta-
No, we're still back on the paint set. Trustee Picaro.
Aye.
Mayor Henry, aye. Deputy Mayor Andolso. Trustee Noel.
Aye.
It retroactively passed. Reports from department heads. Joanne, do you want to go first?
I'll go first, because mine's going to be.
Jake, go first.
Fun, take over, Jane.
No, everything's running good with DPW. Everything's great, and, we're getting ready to gear up for Montgomery Day. That's basically it.
Now you can get the trustees. Yeah.
Who's going to do the 208?
What's that?
Who fixes that?
It's, Mid Hudson County.
Joanne, do you want to go?
Can I go now?
Yes, you can. Wait, hold on.
Hey.
So, we had a lot going on in July, we didn't have that meeting, well, we didn't have the beginning meeting in August, but our senior lunch comedy show was fantastic. It was awesome.
thank you to Baby Dolls for catering. Food was delicious. Comedians were great, and I'm still getting calls that they want us to do it again. So that's definitely something we're gonna definitely bring them back. And it's so much better to bring them here. They're not sitting on a bus like we did a week and a half after. That show was great too.
I know his father too.
Oh, they were great. So everybody loved it. Everybody raved over the food, how great a time they had, and they didn't have to sit on a bus. They were here. So, and a lot more people were able to come here instead of sitting on a bus going out. Like I said, then we had our trip to Blue, which was great. Our balance cardio class, that is growing awesome. So we're, hold off on bringing Zumba back. She wanted to focus more on one class. So Zumba's gonna be on hold. We're gonna build on that one. And that's now our second biggest class. And I'm thinking about making some changes with different classes, moving times, days, so that we can fit more in. And we've got all kinds of stuff coming for the fall, new classes, new activities. We did our defensive driving class. Next one won't be until January, February. I've already done 2. Red Cross will be in here tomorrow, 1:30 to 6 for the blood drive again. Everybody loves the teams. So they're awesome. Everybody, women were sitting out there today playing games. It's great. That's what I got.
Is there anything that's not worked, that hasn't worked, that you're not gonna continue besides changing the one class, or anything that we can help promote that you want to see take off but is not taking off?
No, just trying to, that was a new class, so, and Zumba kind of wants, well, they'd rather do the balance, and she's added the cardio back into it, so we kind of put Zumba on hold. So she actually has that class run a little bit longer, so we're just trying to maybe move something to a different day and somebody else in a different time. Just kind of moving things around a little bit, playing with the schedule, seeing, if maybe Wednesday's better for somebody than a Thursday, or, Monday's better than a Tuesday. Just trying to flip-flop things around, but we'll figure it out.
And how many people went on the food trip?
What did they have, almost 30?
And what's the best attended class?
Right now is chair yoga, the second is my balance class. Chair yoga, I'm not moving, that time is set.
Thank you.
Joe, you're up.
Yes, my turn. All right. Well, thank you.
No, wait.
We got it.
Yeah.
You want to go to this? You want to fight over second? So, thank you for the SROs. It's going to help a lot this year with the school. It really maximizes the amount that we're going to actually get back from the district for having the SROs covered. The LPRs, everything's been ordered as far as that contract goes. Just a couple tidbits we got to button up with Central Hudson to get the approval to use their poles and all that. And we're told that takes a while, so they might not be out there for a while, but we're working on that. For so far this month, which is obviously the month's not over yet, we have 184 service waters, which is a little higher than normal, but the guys are out there
It's too
doing
hot,
their
people are
checks.
great. You can only get a little crazy when it's that hot for that long.
The tractor parade, just want to remind everyone, August 30th for Saturday. The roads are going to be closed from around 11 to 1:30. And so there's not going to be any cars that are going to be going through. And once the tractors start going, they're pretty much their own roadblock anyway, so you're not going to be able to get out. If you need to get your cars out of the normal route, make sure you park outside of there before it starts. We're also getting ready for GMD, working with Jake and BBW on that. And again, school starts September 4th. Make sure you're slowing down through the school zone, please, because even though all summer, it's not a 20-mile-an-hour zone, it will be once school's in session. relation to the officers that had to unfortunately respond to the fatal motor vehicle accident the other night. It was not the best scene to be at, but they did what they had to do. Ultimately, we did turn it over to state police due to them having more resources to be able to do a more detailed investigation into it. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, trustee reports. Now this, just a little history on this thing. We never had trustee reports on the prior administration, and I tried it here. I instituted it as trustee reports, hoping for happy things. What goes on, it's not meant to be argumentative. Not at all. That was not what it was for. And I hope it continues that way. Who wants to go first? Steve.
So you'll be glad to know the pickleball world is going wonderfully. We've actually only had a couple of people there when I showed up at 6 o'clock. I haven't seen a problem at all. The line is at 10. And so maybe we might was going to go in a hair earlier, no? Hey, I'm trying.
Not on your life.
And they're lined up at 10 o'clock when they get there. But at 6 o'clock, there's been almost nobody there, and they've been very easy to redirect when the other courts are open. So that's been not a problem at all. I did get a chance, Bob Reynolds, thanks for calling attention to that stuff.
I actually have information that I want to speak on that.
Cool. And so I went down to the DPW yard and I looked through it, and I want to see if we can pull it out and see if it's salvageable to use around the village, whether that's in the pleasure grounds or wherever, and exactly what the cost might be to refurbish. Problem that I foresee, we got it on a grant, and technically we weren't allowed to remove it with the grant, and it got taken away for something else on a grant, so you can't remove that and put the grant back on the grant. So it's kind of a messy situation where if we can salvage the equipment, I'd love to see that, even if only a couple of pieces and we spread them out through the pleasure ground. I think it might be a really nice thing for the walkway.
Could you speak to the public on what you're talking about? Because maybe not everybody's aware of what you're even referring to.
Okay, so there was exercise equipment that I think Mr. Linder got on a grant, and it was placed out and it had been vandalized. And so after a certain amount was broken, Jake, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
It was repaired quite a few times.
Yeah, and so it kept on getting vandalized, and they decided to take it down, and that's where they put the pickleball courts.
The reason why I was stating that, from what I understand, remember that was before me, our insurance company told us it'd be a good idea to take it down because it was being that we were repairing it, and it was potential
It's
that.
no longer covered under the insurance.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to look into the situation a little bit more and see maybe this isn't a good idea to continue to repair it. But if not, to find other equipment that's an option to replace it. And I think stations in the pleasure grounds might be a good thing.
Yeah.
So that's my idea for that forward. I'd love to work with you, Bob, if you have some
I don't want to
ideas.
speak on it here. I don't know if you want me to do it now or if you want to wait until you're done with your.
I'll wait for public comment.
Okay.
And the last part was, I followed up with Sean Mears on Millings, and he said there's a sealant that goes over it that can make them basically like a sidewalk. Has he had a chance to reach out to you yet?
Who?
Sean Mears,
Is-
the town.
Reach out to me for,
Just see if this is a possibility for a fix for Boyd Lane at a substantially cheaper cost.
oh, yeah,
Okay, so I'll move forward with that, getting you guys.
that's what I wanted to go over. You're talking about the fiber map.
Well, actually, I'm talking about connecting two pieces of the sidewalk temporarily.
Oh, sidewalk.
Yeah, but using the millings and because it would turn around and be a base level for the sidewalk, correct? Wouldn't that make a nice base level?
All right, you lost me. You want to use tar and chip for a sidewalk?
Right now, we have grass, and
Yes.
people are being forced out in the street. So a possible solution was to make that connection with the two, prepare a site, but it has to be ADA compliant. The millings with the sealant are ADA compliant.
Okay.
How much?
Not,
I'm looking in the cost. It's just, I wanted to reach out, but I didn't want to do it if Jake thought it was a bad idea, so.
I never did sidewalk that way, so it's amazing.
No, I know what the other sidewalks cost, and that's out of the budget range right now, so I was looking for a cheaper option. And that's my report.
Put on the line. I worked with Millennium, as we already discussed, about grants and clarifying that process for the village, and then continuing to work on processes and other items to follow, and hopefully I'll see them on the agenda next week or next month.
Thank you.
I attended the July Orange County Town, Villages, and Cities meeting. There was Deep End Security Systems that spoke. Also, there was a speaker from the Senior Independence Program and Office for the Aging. I did share with Joanne, I brought back some of the information from that really great programs that they're putting on. The county legislature was there. They spoke about the open space grants and the senior farmers market coupons. Thank you, Don Berger, for your follow-up with that, to get those coupons here for our village. Completed the court audit with Jessica Nelson on her last day. Took a few NICOM classes for open meetings law and managing staff and doing it ethically. And then an update on the audiovisual closet. I've been working with Joanne. We brought in the soundboard guy. Our soundboard is fried. It's not going to work, so we would have to replace that. So I am getting quotes for replacement, and then Joanne and I are looking at a better storage system for that closet and how to keep it, make it smaller and keep it dust-free and, you know, an updated version so that we can start using microphones in the sound system that is here in the senior center.
Because the microphones that we have work,
Yes, yeah, we tested those. Those work great.
Soundboard.
We just have to have soundboard, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Steve, in reference to the sidewalks, that's definitely important, I walk that several times a day, but if you think about it, let's walk down the hill when you come to Lakeside, and there's no sidewalk. So you gotta make your way all the way down to the post office, and then run across the street and do about 150 feet there, and then run across the street to the other sidewalk. So I asked Jake to get a price on that, if we would do it nicely, cement, and it came out to like 160,000, something like that, if a private contractor did it. If Jake did it, how much would that cost?
45,000.
Could it go lower than that?
Yes. We have to install drainage, because there's a lot of water that runs off of the old all-pack building. So we'll have to put some drainage in there, and we also have to extend that one pipe that goes underneath Boyd Street, which all that can come out of my drainage.
Does that utility pole have to be relocated?
No, we can go around it. Yeah, I believe it is. I'm gonna go, I believe I have enough to go behind it. But, so yeah, so we could probably do it for like 40,000.
I mean, I'm gonna hold the picture up, but everybody knows what I'm talking about. The sidewalks end. They end right there. You run across the street to the post office, and then you run for your life up to Lakeside. Now, we really experienced it this time with 17K being closed. It was a mess. Here they are. Here's a better picture. I mean, I'm showing everybody what's out there to begin with. Okay, this needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed. $160,000 for a private company, $40,000 for our guys to do it. They did the last one, which was $159,000. That came in at $34,000. The guys did it. So that's very important, and I agree with you on that, Steve. Very important. On my report, first I'd like to thank Darlene and Ron Feller for getting $4,553.17 grant for the park benches out here. Darlene and I went around, we were the only ones available, went around and welcomed 21 new residents to the village. 4 of them weren't home. They come from Newburgh, Campbellville, Brooklyn, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Warwick, Monroe, Walk-Hill, Fishkill, Bronx, Bronxville, Monroe, Washingtonville, Walden, Staten Island, Walden, and Middletown. And I gotta say, the chief went with us. This is what they do for a living. And therapist, an iron worker, a teacher, an infection control IT specialist, another IT specialist, director of radiology, a teacher, Wells Fargo branch manager, retired Department of Sanitation, NYPD, a principal of school at West Point, a dermatologist, a produce manager, a retired NYPD, land surveyor, sales manager for a lumberyard, MTA security, general manager of the Galleria Mall, general contractor, a human resource boss, another retired teacher, a finance manager, appliance repairman, and Columbia University professor. That's what's moving into our neighborhood. So, and the reasons they're moving in are good schools, low crime, nice area. These are smart people that look online and know what they're getting into. So that's what 21 people. We've probably done close to 700 people now in a little over 6.5 years. And we bring them gifts from the village, businesses, and yeah, I wish the Chamber of Commerce would help us out a little on this too. Just put something in there. I'd like to thank the foreman James and Doug, the supervisor. I'm going to give the last name, but they're the ones who did 17K over there. They did it ahead of time. They said, we live right in the area here. They're from Argenio, and they did that 17K project quick, along with our guys who are over there checking on them. I'd also like to congratulate DPW employee Billy Castellano. He got his CDL license. We were kind of nervous here. We were losing CDL drivers to other places. He got his CDL, so good. Food truck festival went great. It was a good time, everybody liked it. I'd also like to thank a resident, but I don't want to give out his or her name, for July 10th call, which landed a drug dealer in progress and giving out information, so I won't give anything more. Pete Snyder, he used to live here years ago. He came back, he hooked up with Brian Fitzpatrick, and he built a beautiful model of the train station that was on Railroad Avenue years ago. So that was beautiful, and he donated over there. The Austin Dulcic fundraiser scholarship baseball game July 12th was great, well in attendance. This guy was very popular. Softball, sorry. Got to watch out. Crawford's pickleball courts are getting vandalized, and so they're locking the courts. Are we going to watch that? Paint the Caboose fundraiser? Thank you, that went out very good. There's a kangaroo. I never saw a kangaroo out in the wild or here. Kangaroo was down at Zoo Day down here in the camp. I went to the Walden Eagle Scouts July 26th. I don't miss those. The railroad markings on the roads, if you noticed them, thank you, Jake. They put the crossings out there. We had to do that. They also helped out the town because they helped us out too. They did the chain lane. I was invited, my wife and I were invited to dinner at the American Legion. Those guys are awesome. They made me a member because my relatives were all in the military. I don't think I should be a member because I didn't serve in the military, but they made me a member. We went, Rob Ronaldson was here. He has a petition, Randy and I were with him, about getting 211 done. He's trying his best. Brian Moore's helping too. They're trying. Rob said it's the worst road in his district. It's a mess, so he's doing his best. The garbage truck. The kids down in summer camp here. What Power invested in me, they want the garbage truck named Clifford, the big red garbage truck. So I guess from now we'll refer to it as Clifford. That's what the kids were calling it when you pulled in. The part-time court clerk, she got the background check. This is pretty cool. Frankie and the crew from DPW repaired that porch, and it is fantastic. Frankie did a great job. The guys, everything is kept in-house. That's what I like. Everything's kept in-house. It saves money. And then this was really cool. Darlene, Jake, Joe, and myself were invited out to radio station WTBQ in Warwick to talk about the village of Montgomery, to brag about it, really. So what could that be? You know, the radius of a quarter mile? No, 11 million people listen, because these people own radio stations in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. We were on the air for about an hour and a half, talking about the businesses here, talking about General Montgomery Day, talking about anything we could to brag about this village. And I had a great time. And it was really, really cool. They showed us how it worked, and we were out there, and they would get emails how great it was. Just had a good time. But that's it. That's my report. So I thank everybody for keeping the reports. So, all right, now we have events. What we got events coming up? Paperwork in front of me here. All right, events. September 4th, Thursday, summer concerts. These are going great. Bree, you did an awesome job here with this. Really did a good job. These are good concerts. August 30th, we have the tractor parade, or like they call it, Skips Parade. September 1st, Labor Day, the village offices are closed. September 6th is General Montgomery Day. Public comment. Please limit it to 3 minutes. Bob, you can go first. Bob, you have to state name and address for the record.
No, I don't have to do that by law, but I will. I'm not going to be that guy. Bob Reynolds, 76 Weaver Street, Montgomery, New York. Good evening, everyone. I'm here tonight to speak about an issue that has caused frustration and concern among many of us: the disposal of the gym equipment by our village. What makes this particularly annoying is that this equipment was new or near new condition. And even more troubling is the fact that it was purchased with state grants from Bill Larkin and county grant monies and village taxpayer dollars. In addition, many volunteer hours went into this, as well as work from our DPW. As residents, we trust that the resources we purchase and maintain with our tax dollars will be handled responsibly. When something like this that is still valuable and useful, and in some cases barely used, is simply discarded, it raises serious questions about oversight, accountability, and priorities. This equipment could have been benefited for our community in countless ways. It was for the use of our community, especially our senior citizens, to encourage health and wellness. Even if it was determined that the village no longer needed it, the equipment could have been auctioned off or sold. It could have been donated to our local schools, neighboring senior citizens centers, or youth programs, or given to another municipality rather than just thrown away. The real issue is not the waste of this physical equipment, but the waste of an opportunity. At a time when so many communities are struggling with limited budgets, rising costs, and the need to encourage healthier lifestyles, it is disappointing to see such resources discarded without consideration of their potential value. Hopefully this equipment is still valuable and can be reused. Maybe we can do a photo op with the county executive, local politicians, and others among the weeds where it now lies. We could use the photos with hashtags like "a great place to live and waste taxpayer money," or do a picture next to the small bandstand out there that's in disrepair and say, "Where am I now?" I am asking the board and the administration to review the policies for disposing of public property to ensure greater transparency is moving forward. Clear guidelines and more thoughtful process should be used in place so that valuable items are redirected, repurposed, or redistributed in ways that benefit our residents, not wasted. Let's take a lesson learned and make the future that we turn opportunities like this into benefits for our community instead of losses. That's it on that item. I do have another item, if I could speak. My second item is on another issue. I believe the speed limit in the village streets is all 25 miles per hour. I don't know, maybe somebody could explain to me why the speed limit, and you have a picture of it right there you just showed. The speed limit in front of the post office on Boyd Street from the post office to Goodwill Road intersection is posted 30 miles per hour. However, coming back in the village from Boyd Street to the post office is 25 miles per hour. The only thing I can think of is because of express mail. The opposite way is 25 miles an hour, so this makes no sense. I have spoken about this with a trustee in the past and the former police chief. Could we please fix this? It's a simple thing. Thank you.
Next up?
Madison Green, Bluebird Drive. If I may, I have all due respect, I have a question in, can you hear me? Great. Madison Green, Bluebird Drive. I have a question in terms of F, under new business. What is the difference on a new employee coming in out of county than a volunteer, non-village resident on a committee for the water preservation, if I'm right?
Sorry, what's that?
Your committee, water preservation, that's what it's for?
Yeah.
So what's the difference between an employee that's out of county than a volunteer who's a non-village resident? Just with all due respect.
An employee gets paid.
Yes.
Employee, they're hired. A volunteer actually lives right in the village. A volunteer would volunteer, and they'd have something to say about it. An employee has a supervisor.
Okay. So, but you said the supervisor of the committee would be Jake. And the supervisor of the new committee would be the village, correct?
I'm sorry.
So you're village employees, correct, Mayor?
That's
You're
correct.
elected officials.
That's correct.
So the new employee would be the clerk, who would have a supervisor.
Right.
But Jake would also be the supervisor of the committee. So I was just wondering what was the difference when you pick who's on the committee versus who is the employee, if they're both non-village residents.
I'm not following. A volunteer is a person from the community who volunteers to do things here, who shapes the community. And employees, I was an employee of the city of Newburgh for over 20-something years. I never lived there.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything to do with their structure, their infrastructure, what they did there, their community buildings or anything. That had nothing to do with me. It had to do with people who actually resided there.
Okay. Thank you.
Next up? Yes, sir.
How are you? My name is Mike Hargan, Harmony Street in the village. So I've lived here for 20 years.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name, I'm sorry.
Mike Hargan. So I've lived here for 20 years. I'm going to say probably the last 12 years or so, there's been a drug problem over on Taft Street. In the last 5 years, I think it's, maybe the chief of police might know, there's been several overdoses. Actually, if you Google one of the addresses, you will see the RV that was parked in front of the house for 2 years. I think there was like 4 people overdosed in that RV. It was very convenient for them. It's gotten out of control. Like there's kids that walk in the neighborhood, people that walk their kids in that neighborhood, they said they're finding heroin needles. It's not somebody just smoking a little marijuana. It's people doing heroin. Pretty bad. I probably should have said something about it maybe years ago, and that's on me. But I just had somebody arrested in my driveway. What somebody does on their property, for the most part, is their business. Now they're bringing their business to my property. Now I got a problem. I was out of state. My 80-year-old mother-in-law and my daughter couldn't get into the driveway because somebody was in handcuffs while the police towed their car out of my driveway. I'm not sure if they were going to one of those 2 houses, but I have a pretty good idea that they were going one of 2 places. Either were going to get drugs or coming from doing drugs. It's completely unacceptable. You said you went on a radio show. Did you mention that we may or may not have a drug problem in the village? Did we advertise that? Because we do, right? You wouldn't tolerate it in your neighborhood.
You know what happened, Mike? And didn't take this from a retired cop for over 40 years. The bail laws became nothing now. You can be arrested for a B felony, and if it's not violent, that means sale or possession, you're out on the street. Now, what do you think they're gonna do? Get a job? They're gonna go out there and continue doing it. This is all over the place.
I know, I get it, like, this is America 2025, due to stupid laws and stupid prosecutors and stupid judges. No offense.
Not you.
I'm not trying to be that guy, I'm just throwing it out there, with all due respect. Which it's out of control. I mean, there's 2 houses there. You have one of them that's, if you actually look up one of the addresses, I believe that whole area is zoned R1. If you look up one of the addresses, hit it, it's a small engine repair. That's actually when it comes up. So they open up on Wednesday. The reviews are fabulous though. Yeah, they're mostly 1 stars. I'm sure the heroin friends gave it 3 or 4 stars. But yeah, that's how bad it is, and that's how ridiculous this is. Google Maps has their business address in a R1. I'm going to start. Can I start repairing tractor trailers in my driveway? Is that okay? Right? It sounds ridiculous, but that's what they're doing. They had an RV park there. The license plate on that RV expired in 2004. But they're gonna, we can't do anything. It has a license plate. That's ridiculous. You know?
So there are court proceedings going on about that property.
I know.
I'll just let you know that.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate it.
And I'm not gonna comment further on it. We just didn't want to let you know that.
Yeah, no, I do. I appreciate that. Like I know you guys are doing what you can. I understand. I'm not blaming the chief of police by any means. I know it's complicated, and like I say, not you. Other judges are, not doing the right thing, or it's a long case. But I say this has been going on for a long time. I mean, Chief, how many times do you guys go there?
3 minutes.
Let's just do it every 6 months, just so we don't go over a ridiculous number. But I think there's been 7 people overdose. I mean, that's out of control. But I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm going to be here, or somebody from the neighborhood's going to be here at every meeting to ask a question. I should have been coming to meetings. That's on me. But I will be a regular here. Like I say, just to kind of hold you guys' feet to the fire. And I don't mean that. I know what you're doing as you can.
I have no problem with you doing that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be a jerk.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah. Thank you.
Next up.
Don Berger. Hey, Mike, I brought this up to the board over 8 months ago, just so you know.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here, I want to speak about the August 1st meeting. There was a lot of stuff going on at that meeting, and I'm quite frankly shocked that nobody here has brought this up. Absolutely shocked. And that's the hydrant issue. On August 5th, I FOIA'd for the hydrant reports for 2024, 2025. There are no reports. So my question to you, Mayor, is how do you know what's wrong with the hydrants? You put out a statement at that meeting that each hydrant needed $16,000 worth of repair work. How do you know that? There's no report. I have it right here. I have it right here.
So that doesn't mean anything.
Okay? I know it. Whatever you say means stuff, right? Not what I say. You said it was $225,000 that are going to come out of the fund balance. I don't believe you can do that. You have a water fund. Why aren't you using the water fund to repair these? So my overall question is that I believe that, okay, mistakes have been made in the past. I didn't hear not a single person on this board speak moving forward, how do we correct this problem other than going out and correcting the hydrants? Do we do reports? Are there maintenance reports? What are we doing? How did we get to this? You didn't ask that question at all. All you were screaming emergency, emergency, emergency. But you didn't want an answer to anything. And I think you need to find out what the answers are. And I think that's the proper way of doing it. I hear today at this meeting here, I don't know how many times I heard we don't have a report. I don't know, I don't have a quote. What do you mean? How can you bring stuff before this board and not have an itemized quote? How do you do that? How's that running a business? And I think you're doing it the wrong way. So, in the future, I think it would be a great idea to come up with some sort of report so this stuff never happens. And I'm interested in knowing, do you still intend going to the fund balance for that $225,000? Because I think you're in violation of law.
Well, if I was in violation of law, we got an attorney who could tell me.
He wasn't here, was he?
No, he wasn't, so you can tell me if I was.
Okay.
We'll cover the issues for the.
I just brought it up.
Okay, this is public comment, so please continue your public comments. When I need to give advice to the board, I will do so. Thank you.
It's funny, you just said, when it's brought up, it's been brought up.
When it's brought up by the board.
Then you should have
Mr.
said
Berger,
that.
I don't want to argue with you.
You should have
Please
said that.
continue your public comment.
Well, that's about it for my public comment, but I think you need to do business better here.
Yes, sir.
Mark Palczewski, 214 Tompkins Road. I have a bunch of comments, but I'm not going to get to all of them, so I'm going to start with fire hydrants. I want to thank the mayor and the board for having that meeting and taking care of that problem. That was an emergency. 14 fire hydrants don't work. That's a big problem in this village. If a house burns down, the fire department goes to a hydrant, and the hydrant doesn't work. You're going to lose property, you're going to lose lives. Insurance repercussions, did anyone even address that? Because your insurance is based on a PPC rating, an ISO rating, right? Public protection class, right? That's based on water flow. If there's no water flow and the insurance company charges you a certain rate, they'll turn around and say, we're not covering this house. We assume that that fire hydrant is working. It's not working. We're not covering this house. Everyone else's insurance is going to go up. I'm surprised. I'm a little shocked that insurance may get canceled because they find out fire hydrants aren't working. They'll cancel insurance. House insurance, business insurance will go up. That's not being addressed. That was a major issue. I'm not going to go into. I don't know why it happened. I don't care why it happened. Don's right. Going forward, we have ISO ratings on the fire department. Does it get checked? Does anyone come and check it? Do they check the flow rate? If they check the flow rate on all the hydrants, they would have known they weren't working. And why wasn't it reported beforehand? So I have a big problem with that, huge problem. Local governments, their first jobs are police and fire. That's their first job. Not pickleball courts, not parties, not all that other crap. Police and fire. If your fire hydrants don't work, I'm not even, you got a problem. So going forward, maybe you should make it public. All the fire hydrants should be in the databases. It's on a website. Are they working? Are they not working? What's the flow? All that should be made public. All right, enough said about that. Sewage study. There's a big block here. And I think the issue is that I'm okay with this study. I don't have a problem with the study. But I think the study doesn't take into consideration the quality of life. And I think that's what Mike talked about. There could be an issue with quality of life, with the smell, with the sewage flow, and that doesn't measure that. And the other issue I have is with this study is it's only going to take in Sewer District 1, Sewer District 2 as it stands now. Sewer District 1 or Sewer District 2 could be expanded. And once that's expanded and you've hooked up to them, you've made an agreement, it's going to flow into ours, whether we like it or not. If they modularize it, they'll just say, add another module, we'll pay for it. Okay? And I have a problem with that too. So I don't know if that takes in, and also there's a Sewer District 3, which is the Sheffield Gardens. What about them? They're left in the dark? I think there's going to be a sewage, a wastewater treatment plant next to Richards. Nobody cares about that. I know it's not in the village, but it's going to affect us all. So if you're going to do, and also another thing too that I don't think is addressed is, if you sign a contract with the town of Montgomery, by default, you become a regional sewer district, right? You may not have a regional sewer district, but you can't just cut them off. You'll have DEC, you're bound to them, and they're bound to you, okay? Okay, I'm sorry, but there's a lot I don't think, I think you're talking past each other, and there's a lot of issues that you're missing. So maybe if you try to not talk past each other, talk about the issues, then maybe we can go into a little deeper. Thanks.
Thank you, Mark.
Hi, my name is Paula Persora, and I live at 133 Charles Street. I'm ninth generation in this village and have served the village in an official capacity as the chair of the Architectural Review Board, also inputs to the master plan. And I've served this village faithfully with my expertise in engineering, architectural interests, etc. The reason I'm here is due to a negative personal impact on my property at 133 Charles Street. But the issue is more procedural and deeper than that. I had provided a recent survey showing an encroachment of my neighbor who put a driveway in on my property line, but is actually over my property line, as well as damage a natural berm due to the downslope on Charles Street. And the building inspector had issued a building permit in direct violation of a 10-foot setback requirement required by zoning code, which of course could have an exception if a planning board was involved for that exception. In addition, Jake had, due to the excavation, removed historic slate in front of my property, which I spent a lot of time with the Board of Trustees in the past to preserve the state slate in the historic district. I live in the Alexander Beatty House, circa 1865. It's the Yellow Victorian, directly across from the Village Hall, and it's probably one of the most premier specimens of historic architecture in the village. I'm only the third owner. Previous was Amy Bullcrist's sister, who is my first cousin, my grandmother's first cousin, and Chris family, which is also a member of the Bull family. So I have a lot of historic ties to this village. The issue, and one of the reasons that I'm no longer serving on the Architectural Review Board, was due to the building inspector going rogue and not following village law and procedure. By bypassing the appropriate administrative boards for planning board requirements, as well as architectural review on certificate appropriateness, he had knocked a historic carriage house, allowing my neighbor, who also owns and lives on the property on the other side of me, to knock down a historic carriage house to subdivide without a variance in the past. So there's history here. In addition, he complained about a dog barking, which I had to defend myself, pro se representation in court, and proving that the law was unconstitutional. I didn't require an attorney for that. What I'm asking this board right now to, and I couldn't get on as an agenda item because I didn't have the documented survey done yet, but the surveyor was able to get that over to me today, and I provided it both electronically and physically here, is, you know, I had to pay a $1,400 survey expense, which was updated from 1993 when I personally lived here. And I sent the board showing the encroachment on my property line, pictures showing damage to a natural berm, probably killing a maple tree that pre-exists my age as well. So I officially would like to request to be on the next board agenda to address this matter. Immediately, I think, I've spoken with Jake, he could remove have the blacktop aprons, which actually surround the driveway, which would normally be a straight shot to the road. And then you'd have to regrade Charles Street in order to replace and put the slate back. He did keep that, he said, just to restore the historic correctness of the area, because it has a negative impact. What was done has a negative impact on the historic district as a whole, and has personally injured my property. But more importantly, there needs to be a discussion of controls, competence, and capability of the code enforcement official who effectively issued an illegal building permit in violation of a 10-foot unobstructed clearance requirement with no planning board approvals. At the very least, a retaining wall is now going to be required in order to prevent continued damage and erosion of my property line. And again, no certificate of appropriateness.
Is there anything you can help her?
She was supposed to go back to AHRB with this, and they were gonna meet with Bruce and go from there.
This is not an AHRB or issue based on the fact that they're an advisory board and in the historic context only. This is true damage to my property that because a building permit was issued, right, in violation of existing zoning code.
I just know
I
that.
would say that would be most of that court, hearing in court.
Well, the issue is different, and I would ask your attorney to advise you differently because this is an Article 78 potential. I do now have the means and resources available to me to compel the village to try to resolve this. I don't want to do that. I think frankly speaking, yes, I do have a personal case against him because of the encroachment. However, what I'm asking for is a discussion on a remedy that the board could in fact enforce, and also preventative measures with regard to the building inspector about how he could bypass all of these boards and requirements that everyone in the village normally complies with, you know, unless the building inspector goes rogue. Yeah.
This is the first I'm hearing about this.
Okay.
I'll be happy to take a look at it, and we'll see where it goes from there.
I mean, I just appreciate to be put on the agenda. I don't want to involve attorney if I can have.
Necessarily
Yeah.
an agenda item yet, but
Okay.
I'll be happy to look this over and consult with the building inspector and whoever else I need to talk to.
All right, I
Once
appreciate
get
that.
copies of
And
the
you have all of the electronic documentation. Thank you.
They have everything except the survey, because I was here, man.
Do you want this back?
No, she gave me that. That's what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
James Kiernan, 394 Angelo Drive, Montgomery, New York. I'm also a big fan of judges. Everyone knows that. Thank you all for all you do. Thank you for all the work, all the hours you put in. We have many issues, obviously, facing our village. I haven't spoken in a few months since last I spoke, to see what it would look like if I stayed quiet, to see how you all act. And tonight, again, you talk about falling on a sword. I'll always fall on the sword of how we conduct ourselves in public. Our tone, our decorum. I still have a very difficult time with how some are speaking to others as trustees with each other. I don't know if the solution is to get an outside moderator to help all of you figure out how to do this. If some people here have to shift their tone and get softer and not be quite as angry at times, I don't know what the answer is. All I know is I'm sitting here with a whole bunch of people feeling like I'm in like an abused household. It gets really cringy out here at times, hearing how some are speaking to others on this board. And I'm hoping that some of us tonight look in the mirror and figure out a better way to handle ourselves in public, a better way to communicate with each other. We all depend on you in many, many ways to handle business for us, but the biggest issue for this village is the board itself. And until this gets resolved, I think actually a few months ago, I think the mayor mentioned something about going up in front of the ethics board for something. I don't know what that was about. Maybe it was about how you all work with each other, but we need to do something because until this is resolved, I don't know how any of us are going to move forward on anything. We see it at every meeting. We all pretend it's someone else. We all pretend it's something else. We all know what it is. So we have to work on how we're going to deal with this. I don't know how you're going to do it, like I said. Maybe you need an outside moderator. I don't know what you need. But this, for all of us, I don't think it's working. Thank you.
James, may I comment to you with your permission?
Oh, yes, thank you.
It's not an outside moderator. My belief is the village residents should be more aware of what's going on with the sewer plant. They're not aware of it. They have to be aware. I have no problem doing it. I just think more than 5 people on a board should have something to say about a massive thing like that. That is way beyond us. 5 people should not do that, because when you have stuff like that, you have what's going on in the shop, right? And everybody's like, how did that happen?
I do thank you for your comment. I guess I was just talking in general, not even quite, no, I know, I just want to respond for a minute, please. It's not even quite about that issue, I mean, in general. Some of the arguments we're looking at. I mean, I feel like I'm back at home and my parents are fighting. I don't want to feel like that at my village board meeting, or see people looking down and Mike saying, no, whoever's doing what. I don't like it. Although the attorney's like this, like it just feels uncomfortable to us. And it's not just about that issue. There are many issues that come up here where you are communicating in a way that most of us are uncomfortable with. So I just want to let you know that. Thank you.
Next up. Yes, sir.
So good afternoon. Heath, Robert Sala, in One Pine Court, Montgomery, New York, in the village. I became a public servant in 1995. As a police officer, my powers were derived primarily from the CPO. Village officers receive their powers and duties in accordance with New York State village laws, specifically Article 4, which covers the powers, duties, and compensation of officers. I just gave you all a copy of the cover sheet and the mayor's section. The title you don't see in that list of officers is trustee. And before you say or think that the Board of Trustees is the same thing as a trustee, tell me if you think a congressman is the same as the House of Representatives, or if a state senator is the same as the same thing as the state senate. The answer is no. If it was the case, the quorum wouldn't be required to conduct business, which is a core characteristic of a public body. No one reports to a trustee. A trustee has no subordinates. A trustee cannot direct the work of a village employee, and no one is answerable to a trustee. As an example, Trustee Imbriani is not empowered to approve a day off request of a DPW employee. Trustee Picarillo is not empowered to permit a village hall employee to leave work early, and Trustee Nolan is not empowered to question the whereabouts of an absent village employee, as an example. If you look at section 400, the mayor's powers and duties, you'll see that letter E is the reason why the mayor can do all of the above. On to the feckless resolution you voted in favor of at the last meeting. You guys resolved to take actions that fall under the enumerated powers of the mayor. For example, item 1, the village board hereby approves the professional service agreement and addendum executed in connection with the joint sewer feasibility study. The town board has already approved the contract between the town supervisor and the contractor, making your approval unnecessary and beyond your authority. You can only approve or deny the mayor's request to sign a contract on behalf of the village. Number 2, the village board hereby agrees to and approves the proposal of a town of Montgomery that the cost of the sewer feasibility study shall be shared equally between the town and the village at a cost of $7,500 each. Again, nice try, but you can't make an agreement to enter a contract with the town or the town contractor. The authority to sign contracts is vested solely in the mayor, and members cannot vote to override specific powers granted to the mayor under New York State statute. Number 3, the payment for services performed by Delaware Engineering shall be a village expense to be paid from village funds. Nice try again, but you can't pay a contractor for services performed when you don't have a contract with them to perform services. It's that simple. The bottom line is, village governance isn't poker, where 3 jacks beat 1 ace. You cannot vote to execute the enumerated powers of the mayor. If you could, please vote to hire a village employee without the mayor asking you for consent to hire them. Tell me how you would pull that off. There are also barriers between public servants and the public. Trustee Nolan, you have no business questioning another board member at Village Hall as to why I was present at a public place in the village.
Mr. Stout,
Yes.
first of all, your time. Second of all, as the rules of as the rules of addressing the board have stated, okay, you are not to speak directly to any of the trustees. Your comments are to be directed to the board as a whole, not to attack specific members. And your time is up.
Okay, I'm going to finish my sentence. Thank you for your time. The simple answer, which you're not entitled to, is it's none of your business why anyone is anywhere.
Mr. Saladin,
yes.
Just what I said, you are violating the meeting rules of decorum for public comment. Please address, the penalty is asking you, there's no penalty.
Okay.
Please address your comments to the board.
Other people ask direct questions to people.
No, they didn't.
Oh, sure they did.
Mr. Saladin, please direct your comments to the board.
Thank you for your advice. I'm going to finish my statement. You are crossing the line, and I'll let it slide this time. But if you do it again, you will be held accountable.
Oh, really?
Yes. Not you. Not you. I'm not talking to you. finishing my statement.
No one is here is held accountable unless the board decides, not you.
Thank you for your
With
advice
all
again.
due respect, your
Yes.
time is up.
Okay, I'm gonna finish.
Mr.
Other
Mayor.
people went over 3 minutes.
Mr. Mayor.
No one needs to explain to your satisfaction why they are anywhere in public. Thank you.
Next up. I'm aware of that.
Hey, Tom Speed, 205 Tompkins Road. You know, Mark, we don't get along on a lot of things, but I agree with you with your wastewater comments, and Rob too. You know, this thing is bigger than all of us. The town's wastewater problem. 20 years ago, Susan Cochran administration wanted to put a wastewater treatment plant across from the very ultra development of River Point. It's on, go down Berea Road, it's on the left. It's probably the most upscale development in the entire town of Montgomery. I know 2 doctors, well, one's a veterinarian, one's a dentist, that live there, but they're both doctors, right? You know, 40 years ago, I was getting into a complicated problem as a young man. And this old timer told me, "You know what you're doing, kid?" I said, "Well, I think I know what I'm doing." He said, "Well, if you go in an inch, you're going to be in a mile and you can't back out." And that's what we're doing here. If we give this feasibility study, let me tell you, I have a degree, a minor degree in engineering, 32 years as an outside plant engineer. I can engineer from here to the moon. 36-inch pipe isn't big enough? Put a 46-inch pipe, 48-inch pipe, you know? Anything can be engineered, believe me. It's a possibility. And then a town's gonna come back and say, see, you know, why compromise the town? Well, the town didn't find a solution for their wastewater problem 20 years ago. They didn't build a plant, and now they're shoving this down our throat. They're cramming it down our throat. So I say, nip it in the bud. Don't go in an inch, and they won't be able to compromise us by pulling us a mile. Thank you.
Anybody else? Second. Anybody want to go a second time? Go ahead. I'm okay with it.
I just want to say one thing.
Go ahead. No,
It's
I'm
not-
doing it. They want public comment.
I'm not going to stand up for this. It's my anniversary today, my 46th wedding. My wife for something that's entertaining, so thank you for fulfilling that promise. Give them a shout.
Mark, you had something else?
I actually have something to say
Go ahead.
in regards to Don Berger's comment and Cynthia Newton's comment about I'm loud enough, about the farmers market coupons that were not offered to the senior center. It was actually advertised for a good month that the Office of the Aging was going to be at our senior center handing out coupons. They didn't specify how long they were going to be there, but they were there. And it was Don's comment and calls that got them to come back so that they were there for a longer amount of time. But they were offered to us. They were here. So, I mean, I don't know where that came from, that they weren't offered to us, because they were. I know I heard comments that in the past they left them at the center, but there has to be stipulations as to why they leave them. I believe it's training, am I correct? Because I told Office of the APS that's. So you have to be trained in order to have those coupons left. So you know that for the future.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I want to know if Bob and Cindy are going to McDonald's after this, or if that's just a birthday thing.
What's that?
Are you going to McDonald's after this, or is that just a birthday thing?
You've got enough. You only need one meal a day.
All right. Motion for executive session?
Yes, we need to go motion for executive session to discuss matters of hiring, particular individuals, and I would suggest if they want to come in, if we invite in Your Honor, and also the village clerk to discuss these matters. What's that? Yeah, well, there'll be other things after they're excused.
Okay, make a motion to go to executive session for what our attorney just said. Just made a motion.